Do you want to die, human? I accidentally bumped into the alien vampire woman's butt. Ethan Shale was having one of those mornings that felt like the universe had personally decided to make him look foolish. He had overslept, spilled his breakfast substitute, an oddly chewy protein cube that was supposed to taste like eggs, and now he was late for the most important briefing of his career. His first official mission on the interstellar station Helios Prime, a hub for humans and aliens from dozens of species, was supposed to be his big break. Instead, it looked like it might end in embarrassment before it even began. He dashed through the bustling corridors, trying not to trip over the shiny, floating transport pods that zipped past him like metallic fireflies. Humans were still a relatively new addition to Helios Prime, and everywhere he went, Ethan felt like he was being judged. Some aliens looked at him with polite curiosity, others with open suspicion. Humans were known to be clever, yes, but also clumsy. Ethan felt like he was proving the second part of that stereotype today. Ahead, a group of Vorathi stood near the docking bay. The Vorathi were infamous across several star systems. Slightly taller than humans, with pale silver skin and hair that seemed to shimmer like liquid metal, they were strong, fast, and according to rumors, had a terrifying bite. Ethan had read the reports. He had seen the holovid briefings, and yet in his current state of panic he barely noticed them. He rounded a corner too quickly, his foot caught on the edge of a maintenance hatch. He stumbled forward, arms flailing, and then he bumped into something, or rather someone. "Oh no," he gasped. Ethan had collided directly with a Vorathi woman, and the impact sent him sliding backward into a wall panel. He yelped as sparks flickered harmlessly from the wall's control circuits. The Vorathi, standing perfectly still, turned slowly. Her eyes were a deep, unsettling violet, and her expression, Ethan wasn't sure if it was anger, amusement, or hunger, probably anger. The rumors hadn't been lying. "Do you want to die, human?" she asked, her voice smooth but edged with steel. Ethan froze. His brain short-circuited. He had prepared for alien etiquette, diplomatic faux pas, even low-level combat scenarios. But this question, delivered in that calm, deadly tone, was not something he had anticipated. I'm sorry," he stammered, unsure if words were even useful in this situation. The Vorathi's eyes narrowed. She leaned slightly forward, her head tilting in a way that suggested amusement, but a dangerous amusement, the kind that could make a human's blood run cold. "You bumped into me," she said. "Do you understand what that means on Helios Prime?" Ethan swallowed. It means I bumped into you?" "Yes," she replied, and the word was like a whip cracking in the quiet corridor. "Do you have any idea who I am?" "Well, no, but—" Ethan began. Then he remembered the security briefings, the warnings, the stories of human explorers disappearing after offending a Vorathi. "I mean, I'm just new here, I didn't know." The alien's eyes glinted. "Ignorance is not an excuse. Carelessness can get you killed." Ethan's mind raced. Okay, think, what would a human diplomat do? I can apologize. I'm really, really sorry. I didn't mean to." "You think an apology will save you?" the Vorathi asked. She stepped closer. Ethan felt the air change. It was like walking into a storm that hadn't yet hit. Maybe," he ventured. He was rapidly running out of options. She sighed almost theatrically and then straightened. "You are bold, human, or foolish, perhaps both. Follow me." Ethan blinked. "Follow you? Yes, you have violated my personal space, and now you will learn the consequences. Quickly." As they moved through the station corridors, Ethan realized he had no idea where they were going. The Vorathi, who introduced herself as Lyra, didn't speak again, and Ethan struggled to keep up. Her long strides were effortless, while he panted and dodged service drones and other travelers who gave him suspicious looks. He tried to make conversation. "So you're a security officer?" Lyra glanced at him, one brow raised. "You think my title matters?" "Well, I mean, yes," Ethan admitted. Lyra stopped abruptly. They were in a quieter section of the station, near the observation deck overlooking the spinning planets below. "Titles do not matter. Strength, skill, and respect do. And you have none of these, yet you survive. That is unusual." Ethan could feel his face turning red. I'm good at surviving." "Barely," Lyra corrected, her gaze piercing. "Tell me, human, do all humans act this foolishly?" I hope not," he said weakly. "I might be a special case." Lyra's lips curved into a hint of a smile, almost imperceptible, but enough to make Ethan's stomach twist in confusion. The situation was terrifying, and yet there was something about her that didn't scream instant death. Maybe. Suddenly, alarms echoed across the observation deck. Red lights flashed and a deep voice announced, "Unauthorized access detected. Security breach in docking sector 7. Lyra's eyes sharpened. "Seems luck follows you, human, or misfortune, perhaps both." "What, me? I didn't." "You caused enough chaos already," she said, her tone dismissing his protests. "Come, we will handle this together, quickly." And just like that, Ethan, who had started the day tripping over breakfast cubes, was dragged into an unfolding security incident by an alien who could probably crush him with one hand if she wanted. As they raced toward docking sector 7, Ethan had a thought that both terrified and thrilled him. Humans are considered weak and fragile in space, but right now, maybe, just maybe, being human might be an advantage. Lyra reached the docking bay and Ethan's jaw dropped. Several spacecraft were hovering just outside the station, maneuvering in ways that suggested they weren't here for trade. They were here to attack. "Humans are unpredictable," Lyra muttered. "Perhaps you will prove useful after all." Ethan gulped. His hands shook slightly as he realized he wasn't just running from an angry alien anymore. He was now part of a real interstellar crisis, and survival would require more than luck. Lyra," he asked, trying to sound braver than he felt. "What do we do?" Lyra glanced at him, her violet eyes catching the red emergency lights. "We survive. That is what humans are best at, isn't it?" Ethan could only nod. He wasn't sure if she was insulting him or complimenting him. Either way, he decided survival was the priority. And perhaps if he survived this, he could finally prove that humans were more than just clumsy meat bags. The docking bay doors hissed open, and the first of the intruders appeared. Ethan swallowed, feeling adrenaline kick in. Somehow he had managed to bump into a vampire-like alien and not die immediately. Now he had to survive an actual attack. And somehow, against all odds, he thought he might actually have a shot, because humans were good at surviving. Even if it started with something as ridiculous as bumping into a very dangerous alien's butt. Ethan's heart was pounding so loudly, he could almost hear it over the alarms and the whirring of docking bay doors. The station had never felt so large and so terrifying at the same time. Everywhere he looked, bright emergency lights cast shadows on the gleaming metal floors. He could see Lyra moving with the grace and precision of a predator, and he struggled to keep up without tripping over every cable, pipe, or foot of metal he passed. "Human," Lyra called without turning, her voice calm but commanding. "Stay close, move fast. And do not get in my way." Ethan swallowed hard. "Yes, of course." He adjusted his backpack, which was bouncing annoyingly on his shoulders. "Right behind you." Lyra didn't respond. She was already 2 steps ahead, her long silver hair glinting under the red emergency lights. Ethan tried to focus on her movements, noticing how she always seemed to anticipate every obstacle. He, on the other hand, was tripping over his own feet. He thought, "I hope my clumsiness doesn't get us killed." The source of the alarm became clear as they entered the docking sector. Several small, sleek spacecraft hovered just outside the station, their hulls dark and angular. Ethan could tell they were alien vessels, but not friendly ones. Their markings were unfamiliar and their movements were sharp and precise. They were not here for trade or diplomacy, they were here to attack. Lyra's eyes narrowed as she scanned the ships. Unauthorized attackers, intelligent, prepared, dangerous. Ethan nodded even though he had no idea what she meant. Dangerous like really dangerous, or dangerous like I might get a paper cut." Lyra shot him a look. "Really dangerous." He swallowed again. "Great, that's reassuring." Lyra turned to him suddenly. "Human, can you pilot one of these auxiliary defense drones?" Ethan blinked. I can try." She smirked faintly, almost imperceptibly. "Good, try, fail, and we both die." Ethan felt his stomach twist. He had seen simulators, yes, he had even passed the training modules. But in real life, facing actual attackers, his hands felt sweaty already. He followed her to a small control pod tucked in the corner of the docking sector. The pod was shaped like a bubble with controls that glowed softly in response to his touch. Lyra handed him a helmet and gestured to the seat. "Sit, focus, you have one chance." Ethan hesitated for a moment. Then, muttering to himself, he sat down. "Humans survive, humans survive." He repeated it like a mantra, as if saying it aloud enough times would make it true. Lyra didn't wait for him to adjust. She moved to another station nearby, her presence commanding the drones and defense systems with a calm, deadly precision. Ethan watched her, trying not to panic as he realized he had no choice but to do his part. "Okay," he muttered. Let's do this. The first drone launched, a sleek machine shaped like a hawk with spinning propulsion thrusters. Ethan's fingers hovered over the controls, unsure which buttons did what. The drone darted into the docking corridor, zipping past the enemy ships. Lyra's voice came through the comm link. Target the closest ship. Avoid their energy pulses. Human, your reflexes are slow. Anticipate. Ethan tried. He pressed buttons, twisted joysticks, and somehow managed to get the drone to fly toward the first attacker. He dodged a blast that went zipping past his control pod, narrowly missing the docking wall. Sparks flew, and Ethan ducked instinctively. Human, Lyra barked. Focus. Yes, focusing, he shouted, realizing his panic might actually help him dodge faster than planned. Somehow his clumsy instincts were working. He fired the drone's weapons, hitting one of the attacking ships. It wobbled and then veered off course, crashing into the station's energy shield with a loud clang. Ethan felt a thrill of success. I did it. I really did it. Lyra's eyes, visible even through the comm feed, glimmered. Not bad for a human. Ethan grinned, feeling a rush of confidence. Maybe humans weren't completely useless after all, but the attackers weren't done. More ships entered the docking sector, faster and more aggressive. Ethan's drone dodged blasts and returned fire, but he realized quickly that one human in one pod wasn't enough. Lyra, he shouted, there are too many, I can't handle them all. Lyra didn't hesitate. Then use your head, human, think differently. Humans are unpredictable. That is your strength, Ethan blinked. Unpredictable? Yes, you do not follow standard tactics. Use that. He thought fast. He remembered how humans often solved problems with improvisation. Taking a deep breath, he used the station's magnetic field control to pull one of the enemy ships off course. It spun out and collided with another ship. Sparks and debris filled the air, and the attackers were momentarily distracted. Lyra nodded. Good, human creativity works. Ethan felt a burst of pride. See, told you humans are useful? Lyra's lips twitched. Do not boast yet, the threat is not over. Suddenly, the attackers regrouped. They moved faster, coordinating in a way that suggested intelligence and training. Ethan's hands were sweating, his muscles trembling from the stress. One wrong move and, human, cover me, Lyra commanded. She moved with incredible speed, leaping onto the docking bay railings, avoiding blasts and taking down drones with precision strikes. Ethan directed his drone to block incoming fire, protecting her as best he could. They moved like a strange, awkward team, Lyra graceful and deadly, Ethan clumsy but clever. Despite the danger, Ethan felt a strange thrill. He was surviving and maybe even making a difference. Human, Lyra said after dodging a particularly close energy blast. You may be chaotic, but you are alive. That is rare. Ethan laughed nervously. Thanks, I think, more alarms echoed. The attackers were retreating, but not before leaving a strange beacon floating in the docking sector. It pulsed with light, clearly some kind of tracker or signal device. Ethan pointed at it. Lyra, what's that thing? She examined it quickly. A warning. They are calling reinforcements. If we leave it, more will come. We must destroy it. Ethan nodded, heart still racing. He had survived the first wave, but the danger wasn't over. Together, they devised a plan. Lyra would distract the attackers' remaining ships, and Ethan would use his drone to approach the beacon and disable it. Ethan's hands shook as he maneuvered the drone toward the pulsing device. He felt sweat running down his back, but he focused on one simple idea. Humans survive. Humans adapt. Humans improvise. He reached the beacon and activated the drone's disruptor beam. Sparks flew and the beacon's light dimmed. A soft hum indicated it was no longer transmitting. Ethan let out a breath he hadn't realized he was holding. Lyra landed beside him, her expression unreadable. Then, almost imperceptibly, she nodded. Good work, human. You did not die. That is impressive. Ethan's chest swelled with pride. Thanks. I think we make a pretty good team. Lyra's eyes flickered with something like amusement. Perhaps, but do not mistake luck for skill. You have survived today, yes, but survival is only the first step. Ethan smiled weakly. Well, I'm alive, and I learned something. Humans can handle chaos. Lyra looked at him for a long moment. Yes, humans are unpredictable. That may be useful. Ethan grinned, though he knew the day wasn't over. The attackers could return at any moment, and this time the challenge would be even greater. For the first time since arriving at Helios Prime, Ethan felt a strange confidence. He was human. Clumsy, messy, sometimes foolish, but still human. And humans survived, always. And with Lyra, terrifying as she was, by his side, maybe survival wasn't just possible, it was probable. The docking bay lights flickered as the attackers retreated, leaving a quiet tension in the air. Ethan and Lyra stood among the scattered debris, catching their breath. The human had survived the impossible, and for now, the station was safe. But deep down, Ethan knew this was only the beginning. Humans might be small, fragile, and inexperienced, but with courage, quick thinking, and a little chaos, humans could survive anything. And maybe, just maybe, humans could even be heroes. Ethan could still feel the adrenaline running through his veins as the last attackers retreated from docking sector 7. Sparks flickered from damaged panels, and the air still smelled faintly of ozone. He was exhausted, his knees aching from running and dodging, but he couldn't stop now. Not with Lyra standing beside him, her silver hair shimmering under the emergency lights, and her violet eyes fixed on the next challenge. "Human," Lyra said, her voice calm but firm, "you survived the first attack. That is unusual, but survival alone is not enough. There is more to this than you realize." Ethan nodded, still panting. More attackers?" Lyra shook her head. "Worse, sabotage. Someone is trying to destroy the station from within. If we do not act, Helios Prime could fall, and your human cleverness might be useful." Ethan blinked. "Useful, me?" He swallowed. "I mean, you just watched me crash a drone into a ship." "I don't know if useful is the word I'd use." Lyra's lips curved into a faint smile. "Do not underestimate yourself. Humans have a unique way of solving problems. That may be the difference between life and death." Ethan tried to hide a nervous grin. "Okay, so what's the plan?" Lyra's eyes scanned the docking bay, then the observation screens. "We need to find the saboteur before they can finish their work, and you, human, will help me. You have survived today. Perhaps now you can prove that humans are more than clumsy creatures." Ethan swallowed hard. "Right, prove it, got it. What do we do first?" Lyra handed him a small device. It was sleek, metallic, and pulsed softly in her hand. "This is a tracker. It will locate anomalies in the station's energy systems. The saboteur is using advanced stealth technology. Only this will reveal them. You will operate it. I will cover you." Ethan's hands trembled slightly as he took the device. "Operate it, okay. How hard can it be?" He pushed a button. The device beeped, then began scanning the station. "Good," Lyra said. "Keep it steady and human." "Yes. Do not panic." Ethan gulped. "Do not panic, do not panic, do not panic." He repeated it like a mantra as he followed Lyra through narrow corridors, maintenance shafts, and empty observation decks. The station seemed endless, and every turn felt like another puzzle. As they moved, Ethan tried to start a conversation. "So, Lyra, how did you get so strong and fast? I mean, you're incredible." Lyra glanced at him briefly. "Experience, training, and the natural advantages of my species, but strength alone does not win battles. Strategy, patience, and perception are just as important." Ethan nodded, impressed. "Wow, humans could learn a lot from you." Lyra's eyes narrowed slightly. "Perhaps, but humans have their own advantages: creativity, unpredictability, courage. Today you have shown some of it." Ethan felt a rush of pride mixed with nervousness. "Creativity and courage, okay, that's two things. I can survive with those, right?" The tracker device beeped suddenly. A bright red dot appeared on the screen. "Got it," Ethan said. "There's someone in the upper maintenance sector. That must be the saboteur." Lyra nodded. "Then we move, quietly. Humans are loud, but you can follow without being noticed." Ethan swallowed. "I'll try." They approached the upper maintenance sector. The corridors were dimly lit, with faint hums of energy flowing through the walls. Ethan felt a shiver of fear. He had faced attackers in docking sector 7, but this was different. Here they were hunting a single target, and one wrong move could trigger a catastrophe. Lyra stopped suddenly, raising a hand. "Do you hear that?" Ethan strained his ears. At first, there was only silence. Then a faint mechanical hum, like a device working in the shadows. The saboteur was near. Lyra gestured for him to stay behind. "I will go first. Watch and learn, human, and be ready." Ethan nodded, gripping the tracker tightly. He could feel his heart pounding. "Stay calm. Humans survive. Humans adapt." Lyra moved like a shadow, silent and precise. Ethan watched as she bypassed a security door, disabled a small patrol drone, and crouched near a large panel. Her movements were almost hypnotic, controlled, deliberate, and deadly. Then the saboteur appeared. Ethan caught a glimpse of them before Lyra reacted. It was a humanoid figure cloaked in dark, energy-absorbing armor, moving quickly toward a control console. Ethan's mind raced. "We need to stop them." But how? Lyra acted immediately. She leaped forward faster than Ethan could follow and blocked the saboteur's path. The two clashed, sparks flying as advanced alien technology met Vorathi's strength. Ethan's eyes widened. Wow, she's incredible. The saboteur spun, releasing a pulse that pushed Lyra back slightly. Ethan realized he had to act. He raised the tracker device, aiming its energy pulse at the saboteur's feet. The device emitted a strong magnetic pulse, causing the saboteur to lose balance for a moment. Lyra seized the opportunity. She moved with lightning speed, knocking the saboteur off balance completely and pinning them against a wall. The saboteur struggled, but Lyra's strength was overwhelming. Ethan approached cautiously, still holding the tracker. Do you, want me to do something?" Lyra glanced at him. "Yes, use the device to lock down the panel, prevent any sabotage attempts. Quickly." Ethan pressed the buttons, his fingers moving faster than he thought possible. The device hummed and the panel's systems froze. A soft beep indicated success. The saboteur's plan had been stopped for now. Lyra stepped back, keeping the saboteur pinned. "Human, you acted well. Your unpredictability helped. Remember that. Humans think differently. That is valuable." Ethan felt a thrill of pride. "Thanks. I guess humans can actually be useful after all." Lyra's eyes softened slightly. "Useful, yes, but remember, survival requires more than luck. Focus, observation, and courage are just as important. And humans, you have all three, sometimes without even realizing it." The saboteur suddenly activated a hidden device, emitting a bright flash. Ethan stumbled backward, shielding his eyes. Lyra reacted instantly, knocking the device away and shielding him with her body. The flash died down, leaving the corridor dimly lit again. Ethan blinked, trying to clear his vision. "Whoa, okay, that was close," Lyra nodded. "Close indeed, but that is why humans are interesting. You adapt, improvise, and survive. That is something many species cannot do under pressure." Ethan laughed nervously. "Well, I hope I keep surviving. This is getting intense." Lyra's eyes glimmered with faint amusement. "Perhaps, but intensity is life in this station. You will learn quickly, human, and if you survive today, you may even earn respect." Ethan felt a strange warmth in his chest. Respect from a Vorathi, an alien species known for being deadly and exacting, was not something he had expected. Yet here he was, standing beside one, actively helping prevent a catastrophe. The saboteur stopped struggling as Lyra applied a restraint device. Ethan noticed the fear in the alien's eyes, and for the first time he realized how powerful teamwork could be. Alone, he would never have survived this encounter, but together, he and Lyra had managed to stop a potential disaster. Lyra released her hold on the saboteur and turned to Ethan. "Human, today you have proven something important. You can think quickly, adapt under pressure, and act decisively. That is rare. Many humans would have panicked. You did not." Ethan's chest swelled with pride. "Thanks, I think, but I couldn't have done it without you. You're amazing." Lyra's lips twitched in the faintest smile. "Do not flatter me, human. Flattery is a tool for negotiation, not survival, but you have potential. Keep it, nurture it. And perhaps one day humans will surprise the galaxy even more than today." Ethan grinned. "I'll do my best. Humans don't give up easily after all." Lyra nodded. "Indeed, that is why humans survive, and sometimes why humans succeed." Ethan looked at the captured saboteur and then back at Lyra. "So, what now?" Lyra considered the situation. "Now we ensure this saboteur cannot cause further harm, then we report to Station Command. You will accompany me. Humans may be underestimated, but today you have earned your place." Ethan felt a surge of pride mixed with exhaustion. He had survived attacks, chased down a saboteur, and even helped stop a potential disaster. He was just one human among many species, yet he had made a difference. And for the first time since arriving at Helios Prime, Ethan felt like he truly belonged, because humans were not just clumsy creatures. Humans were resilient, clever, and unpredictable. And in a galaxy filled with danger, those qualities could make all the difference. The station's corridors felt strangely quiet after the capture of the saboteur. Ethan followed Lyra through the maintenance passages, his muscles aching and his chest still pounding from the recent confrontation. Sweat dripped from his forehead, and he realized just how exhausted he truly was. Yet, despite his fatigue, he felt a rush of pride. He had survived, adapted, and even helped stop a potential disaster. "Human," Lyra said, her violet eyes scanning the corridor ahead. "Do you understand why the saboteur acted so boldly?" Ethan shook his head. Not really. I mean, they wanted to damage the station, I get that. But why risk getting caught? Lyra paused, considering her words. Some species use chaos as a weapon. They know that fear spreads faster than information. One mistake can cause panic, and that panic can destroy order more efficiently than weapons alone. Ethan frowned. So they wanted to scare everyone. Yes, and they underestimated humans. They assume you are fragile, clumsy, and predictable. They do not account for your adaptability. Ethan grinned. Adaptable, that's right, humans survive. Lyra allowed a faint smile. Yes, you survive. And today, that may have saved countless lives. They moved into the station's command center, where other officers were already working to repair the minor damages caused by the saboteurs' brief chaos. Ethan followed Lyra to a console, where a holographic display showed the station's energy grids and docking sectors. The captured saboteur was being escorted to a secure holding area, their dark armor gleaming under the harsh lights. Lyra tapped a few buttons. We have confirmed that no systems were permanently damaged, but this is only the beginning. The attackers may return and the saboteur's allies will not wait long. We must prepare. Ethan nodded. So, what do we do? Lyra studied him for a moment. We use your human creativity. You will help identify potential vulnerabilities and think of strategies the attackers will not expect. Humans often approach problems in ways other species cannot. That will be valuable. Ethan blinked. Me? Really? Yes, you survived the first confrontation. That is proof you can think under pressure. Now we will see if you can plan under pressure. He gulped. Plan under pressure. Okay, humans survive. Humans adapt. Humans improvise. That's the mantra. He took a deep breath and tried to focus. Lyra guided him to a holographic map of the station. These are the areas most vulnerable to sabotage: energy conduits, docking bays, and the central control hub. The attackers will likely target them again. We must anticipate their moves. Ethan studied the map carefully. If they attacked the docking bay last time, maybe they'll try the control hub next. But they might also expect that and go somewhere else instead. Maybe a diversion? Lyra's eyes narrowed slightly. Interesting, go on. Okay, so we could set up decoys. Make it look like certain systems are vulnerable. That way the attackers will waste time and resources trying to sabotage them while we prepare defenses elsewhere. Lyra considered this. Humans are unpredictable. This could work. Do you have other ideas? Ethan smiled nervously. Well, maybe we can use the station's maintenance drones. If we program them to patrol suspicious areas automatically, they can catch the attackers before they reach critical systems. Lyra's lips curved into the faintest hint of a smile. Clever. Using your own technology against them, that is very human, I approve. Ethan felt a thrill of pride. Lyra approves. Humans are clever. Humans survive. Humans can save the station. Good, Lyra said. We will implement your plan immediately. And human? Yes. You will accompany me on a patrol, see the attackers if they return, and observe. Learning is part of survival. Ethan nodded, trying to hide how nervous he felt. Got it. Observe and survive. Lyra led him to the docking bay once more, where a group of maintenance drones hovered, ready to follow their new instructions. She tapped a few controls, and Ethan saw the drones respond to the holographic commands he had helped create. The system was now ready to monitor key areas automatically. Impressive, Lyra said. Humans can be useful indeed. Ethan grinned. Thanks, I try my best. Suddenly, the alarms sounded again, sharper and more urgent than before. Red lights flashed and the voice of the station's AI announced, Unauthorized entry detected, upper energy sector compromised, immediate response required. Ethan's stomach lurched. They're back already? Lyra's expression hardened. Yes, and faster than before. Prepare yourself, human. We will intercept them before they reach the core. Ethan followed Lyra through narrow corridors, holding the tracker device tightly. The station shook slightly as distant blasts echoed through the walls. He could feel the tension in the air, thick and electric. As they approached the upper energy sector, Ethan saw small figures moving with incredible speed along the walls. The attackers were back, more organized than before and clearly expecting resistance. Lyra whispered, Human, use the drones, distract them. I will engage directly. Ethan nodded, feeling the familiar thrill of fear mixed with determination. He activated the drones, sending them toward the attackers in coordinated movements. The drones buzzed and whirred, creating obstacles and forcing the attackers to divide their attention. Lyra moved with incredible speed, striking with precision and strength. Ethan watched in awe as she blocked attacks, disarmed weapons, and neutralized threats with a combination of agility and power that humans could barely imagine. Ethan's drones created confusion among the attackers, giving Lyra the opening she needed to reach the central console of the sector. He directed the drones to cover her flanks, using their sensors to detect movements he couldn't see with his own eyes. "Good human," Lyra said over the comm link. "Your unpredictability is helpful, keep it up." Ethan felt a surge of pride. "I'm helping, I'm actually making a difference." He focused on the drones, guiding them to block and confuse the attackers while Lyra moved closer to the core systems. Suddenly, one of the attackers activated a small device, sending an energy pulse toward Ethan's position. He ducked instinctively, the pulse hitting a wall nearby and causing sparks to fly. "Human, watch your flank," Lyra shouted. Ethan swerved the drones to intercept, using them as shields and distractions. The attackers were clever, but they did not anticipate the chaotic human response combined with Lyra's precision. Slowly, they began to retreat, their plan disrupted. Lyra moved to a final position near the core panel, securing it against further sabotage. Ethan directed the drones to continue patrolling, ensuring no attacker could return unnoticed. Breathing heavily, Ethan watched as the attackers finally retreated from the sector entirely. He turned to Lyra, who was surveying the scene with a calm, assessing expression. "Human," she said, "today you have done more than survive. You have adapted, improvised, and contributed to the safety of this station. That is remarkable." Ethan laughed nervously. "Thanks, I mean, wow, this is intense, but I'm glad I could help." Lyra's lips curved into a faint smile. "Humans are strange creatures, fragile, yes, but clever, resilient, and surprisingly valuable. Today you have proven that." Ethan felt a rush of pride. He had started the day as a clumsy, inexperienced explorer, worried about making mistakes and offending aliens. Now, after surviving multiple attacks and helping stop sabotage, he felt accomplished. And he realized something important. Humans might not be the strongest or fastest species in the galaxy, but they had something just as powerful: ingenuity, courage, and the ability to survive against impossible odds. Lyra turned to him, her violet eyes studying him carefully. "Remember, human, survival is only the first step. Use your mind, your creativity, and your courage. That is how humans can be more than just survivors. That is how humans can be heroes." Ethan nodded, feeling a warmth in his chest. "I'll remember, humans can be heroes." The upper energy sector was quiet now, the attackers gone, the core secured, and the station stable. Ethan and Lyra stood together amidst the scattered debris and whirring drones, a strange sense of calm settling over them. Ethan looked at Lyra, still awed by her strength and skill. "You know, humans might just surprise the galaxy one day." Lyra's eyes glimmered faintly. "Perhaps, and perhaps humans will make allies out of enemies, solve problems no one expects, and survive where others fail." "You human may be the beginning of that," Ethan grinned. For the first time, he felt truly confident. Humans survived, humans adapted, humans could be heroes. And with Lyra at his side, he realized they could face any challenge together, even in a galaxy filled with danger, chaos, and the unknown. Ethan's legs ached, his chest burned, and his fingers were raw from gripping controls for hours. Yet he had never felt so alive. Helios Prime was quiet now, almost eerily so, after the last wave of attackers had been forced to retreat. But both Ethan and Lyra knew it was not over. The saboteurs' allies were still out there, and their plans were far from finished. "Human," Lyra said, her violet eyes scanning the corridors ahead, "we must move quickly. The attackers are regrouping. If we delay, the station may not survive their next strike." Ethan nodded, swallowing hard. "Right, let's finish this then." Lyra led him to the central hub of Helios Prime, a vast chamber filled with consoles, glowing holographic displays, and the hum of the station's core systems. Energy flowed through the room in thick streams of light, and every panel seemed vital to keeping the station alive. Ethan felt a shiver run down his spine. One wrong move here and the entire station could collapse. "This is the most critical area," Lyra said. "If the attackers breach this hub, they control the station. We cannot allow that. You will assist me." "Use the drones, your wits, and your human ingenuity." Ethan took a deep breath. "Human ingenuity, right. I got this." They moved cautiously, Lyra leading with the calm confidence of a predator, Ethan following, alert for any signs of the enemy. The central hub's corridors were narrow and full of twists, perfect for an ambush. Ethan's hands trembled slightly, but he gripped the drone control panel tightly, ready to act. Suddenly, the alarms blared. Red lights flashed across the room. Ethan's stomach lurched. He could hear the hum of energy shields activating and small explosions in the distance. The attackers had arrived, stronger, faster, and smarter than before. "They know we are here," Lyra said, her voice steady. "But they do not anticipate human unpredictability." "That is our advantage," Ethan swallowed. "Right, unpredictable, humans survive, humans adapt, humans improvise." Lyra's eyes flicked to him, and for the first time there was a faint trace of a smile. "Yes, use that, human, now." The attackers poured into the central hub. They moved with precision, coordinating their efforts to reach the control consoles. Ethan activated the drones, sending them to block entrances and create confusion. Sparks flew as energy pulses collided with the drones' shields. Lyra moved with lightning speed, striking down attackers before they could reach critical systems. Ethan watched in awe as she dodged, parried, and countered with perfect timing. He realized how much he had underestimated her abilities before. But even with Lyra's skill, there were too many attackers. Ethan's mind raced. Think, humans survive, humans improvise. He spotted a maintenance tunnel running along the side of the hub, one that the attackers had not noticed. "Lyra," he shouted, pointing. "The tunnel. We can use it to flank them." Lyra glanced at him, then at the attackers. "Very well, human, lead the way." Ethan ran to the tunnel, drones following his commands to keep the attackers distracted. Lyra followed silently, her presence like a shadow beside him. The narrow passage was dimly lit, and the hum of energy conduits filled the air. Ethan felt his heart pounding, but he also felt a surge of confidence. He had survived every challenge so far. This was just another puzzle to solve. Emerging from the tunnel behind the attackers, Ethan and Lyra were able to strike from an unexpected angle. The attackers, caught off guard, faltered. Ethan directed the drones to block their retreat, and Lyra moved with precision, disarming and disabling them. One attacker activated a small device, creating a pulse of energy that sent drones and humans flying backward. Ethan landed hard but scrambled to his feet, his fingers flying over the controls to redirect the drones and counter the attack. Lyra blocked another strike with her forearm, then turned to Ethan. "Human, now is the moment. Your choice may save the station." Ethan's mind raced. The energy pulse devices could be deactivated, but only by someone in the central console. He realized he was the only one with a clear line of sight, thanks to the drone's distraction. He took a deep breath and sprinted forward, dodging blasts and leaping over debris. His hands flew across the console, using every instinct he had learned in training and from sheer improvisation. Sparks flew as he rerouted energy flows, overrode attack signals, and locked down critical systems. The attackers' devices began to fail, their coordination unraveling. Lyra fought beside him, keeping the attackers at bay. Her strikes were precise, her movements flawless, and yet she allowed Ethan to take the lead at the console. He could feel the tension and fear in the attackers, and for the first time he realized that his human ingenuity, his unpredictable thinking, was making a real difference. Finally, with a final command input, Ethan shut down the attackers' devices completely. The red warning lights faded, replaced by the soft glow of normal station operations. The attackers, realizing their plan had failed, retreated in disarray, disappearing into the station's outer sectors. Ethan collapsed onto the floor, exhausted, shaking, and exhilarated all at once. We did it," he whispered. Lyra approached him, her violet eyes calm but filled with respect. "Yes, human, you did it. You adapted, improvised, and acted decisively. Today you have proven that humans are more than just fragile creatures. You are capable, clever, and valuable." Ethan's chest swelled with pride. "Thanks, Lyra. I couldn't have done it without you." Lyra tilted her head slightly. "Perhaps, but you made the difference today. Your unpredictability, your creativity, that is something no other species could have contributed. That is why humans survive, and why humans can become heroes." Ethan laughed, though it was shaky. "Heroes, wow, that's something I never thought I'd hear. From a Vorathi, no less." Lyra's lips twitched in what might have been a smile. "You have earned it, and remember, human, this is only the beginning. The galaxy is full of challenges. Many will doubt humans, many will underestimate you. But those who survive, adapt, and act with courage, they will shape the future. Ethan nodded, feeling a warmth in his chest he had never felt before. He had arrived at Helios Prime as a rookie, clumsy and unsure, worried about mistakes and alien reactions. Now he had faced attacks, outsmarted saboteurs, and helped save an entire station. He had survived against overwhelming odds, and in doing so had shown what humans were truly capable of. "Lyra, do you really think humans can surprise the galaxy?" he asked, still catching his breath. She studied him for a long moment. "Yes, humans have something others do not. You adapt, think creatively, and survive where others fail. That is your strength. And one day, humans may become legends in the galaxy. Today, you are part of that legend." Ethan felt a thrill run through him. Humans, legends, surviving, adapting, heroism. All of it seemed impossible when he had first arrived, yet here he was. The station's commander arrived moments later, escorted by several security officers. "Ethan Shale," the commander asked, looking slightly astonished. "You are the human who helped stop the sabotage and assisted a Vorathi officer?" Ethan nodded, still a little dazed. "Yes, sir. I tried my best." The commander's face broke into a rare smile. "Your best was extraordinary. Helios Prime owes you a great deal. You have proven that humans, even as newcomers, can be invaluable allies. The galaxy may yet hear more of your deeds." Lyra placed a hand on Ethan's shoulder. "See, human, you survived, you adapted, you acted decisively, and in doing so you became more than you ever imagined." Ethan smiled, exhausted but happy. I guess humans really can be heroes." Lyra's eyes softened, and she gave a rare nod of approval. "Yes, and remember this, human, the universe is vast, dangerous, and unpredictable, but humans, you are resilient, you are clever, you are survivors, and that makes you legends in your own right." Ethan looked out at the spinning planets visible through the observation windows. Helios Prime was safe for now, and he had proven himself, not just to the aliens, not just to Lyra, but to himself. Humans could face the impossible, think differently, and survive. And maybe, just maybe, humans could change the galaxy in ways no one had ever expected. He turned to Lyra. "Next time I'll try not to bump into anyone, especially you." Lyra's lips curved into a faint, almost amused smile. "Perhaps. But remember, human, your mistakes can also be opportunities. You have survived through one today. Use that knowledge wisely." Ethan laughed softly, feeling the weight of the day lift slightly. "Got it. Human mistakes can lead to heroism. I'll remember that." Lyra inclined her head. "Good, now rest. The galaxy waits for no one, and neither do its challenges. But humans can rise to meet them. You, Ethan Shale, have proven that today." Ethan took a deep breath, letting the sense of achievement and pride fill him. He had survived impossible odds, worked alongside one of the galaxy's most formidable aliens, and saved a station from disaster. He was a rookie explorer no longer. He was a human capable of heroism, ingenuity, and courage. As the station returned to its quiet hum, Ethan looked out at the stars, feeling a strange mix of exhaustion and exhilaration. He realized that survival was only the beginning. Adventure, challenges, and discovery awaited. And humans, with their creativity and resilience, were ready for anything, because humans survived, humans adapted, humans improvised, and today humans had become legends.